Hello, hello, and welcome to Women Celebrating Too Much Women. Today's guest is the incredible Hazel Turner, who is a psychology-led design and brand strategist. Is that right?
Yes,
I want to
perfect.
hear all about the psychology side of things, but thank you so much for joining today. And you have a bit of a superpower, which we'll dig into. But first off, let me tell everybody about what you do. So you transform people's brands from overlooked to unforgettable, combining psychology, strategic insight with 25 years of design expertise, creating emotionally intelligent brand experiences that build trust, command premium pricing, and accelerate business growth. Wow, that's what I call a mic drop moment elevator pitch. So I want to dig into that before we get started. Welcome. How do
Thank
you
you.
combine psychology and strategic insight into
Well,
when you're looking at someone's brand? Let's hear about that.
wow, the angle that I come at it from, like a lot of designers will talk to you about, what are your favorite colors, what makes you feel confident, but I am not so interested in you personally and what attracts you. I'm obviously very interested in where you want your business to go, your strategy there, what's your dream day look like in 5 years' time, 10 years' time, because
Mhm.
if a rebrand or a brand refresh is done properly, it should last you, right? But the direction I come at it from is looking at your ideal clients. What is your target market? Who would you love to be working with? What are the kind of people that you really want to bring into your world? Because we don't sell to ourselves, right? So we need to attract and connect with the kind of people we want to work with going forward.
Do you
And
think that we tend to attract who we want to attract? Do we design things according to our taste? Is that what you're saying? As opposed to actually thinking about the woman on the street or in her home office?
yeah, exactly, because we're not selling to ourselves. So rather than thinking about what is right for you to say yes to somebody, I will look at it in terms of what is right for your ideal client market to say yes to you. There might be overlap, it might be the same. It really depends on the business and what you are selling.
Mm. And then you talk about emotional intelligence, brand experiences, emotionally intelligent brand experiences. Can you just give me an example? Because I'm very visual. I like to think of something that you've
Ooh.
created so I can get my head around it.
Yeah, well, the emotion comes in because the vast majority of the decisions we make, up to 90%,
Mm.
the reason why we say yes is literally based on emotion rather than logic. It's two different parts of the brain that create those responses. And quite often we will, like, after the fact, create a logical reason, like, yeah, I definitely needed those shoes. I don't have anything in that
Yes.
color or style. They'll go with these trousers, But if you think about the last thing you bought, whether it was a beautiful fragrance that just, really elevated your mood, whether it was,
Mm.
I'm thinking about you here, Amanda, your gorgeous hat, or was it a pair of animal print trousers and you
Oh,
just put them on? There you go. See, emotional
oh my
response
God, you're
straight
so
away.
right. Oh my God. Okay. Yes, you're so right.
You see, so the emotions are so important to tap
Yeah.
into when we are promoting ourselves visually in order to attract the right people.
So looking at my branding with my leopard print hat, what emotional response, and I'm putting you on the spot here, do you think
Yeah.
people will have with it? Because it is something which I do question myself sometimes. I have to dare to put it on. We're going to networking
Ooh.
events and all that kind of stuff. Emotionally, what response do you feel 10 women in the room will get? And I'm saying when 10 women, all of them will be on a different kind of a spectrum in terms of their emotional
Yeah.
response to it. So what do you
Yeah.
think? Because it's quite out there and you have to be
Mm.
out there or slash brave to wear
Yeah.
it. Or maybe I just need to use my superpower, which is what I do, my too muchness, and wear it. So tell me about that.
Yeah, get it out of the shy bag, Amanda. No, you're right, because there is a real energy there. There's a boldness to it. There is a bravery. I love that you use that word because that's what I
Mm.
was thinking as well. But really, like it's perfect for your brand because that's what you're all about, right? In terms of
Mm.
helping people to get seen in the media so that they have more attention, more focus on their business, and obviously, hopefully, that drives clients and sales. That's the purpose, right? So you
Mm.
are practicing what you preach in terms of how you show up visually. And I don't think that the way you present yourself is too energetic. You know, I think the people who are right for you will come to you. And I'm a very perceptive person, so I think in terms of your energy, you know, it's great. You have bold, big, brave energy, so why not work with that? And if, you know, maybe people who are a bit more timid, they're just not right for you, or not right for you yet, not right for you
Oh, I like
just
that.
now.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much. It's great to hear, because, you know, one's always self-judging, and I know, you know, the Martinistas, and we should not be doing it. We should just literally go, I don't care. That's what Kate Porter said on her on the session we did.
Amazing.
What's the judgment, you know? And it's so true. Why are we self-judging? It's fear of being criticized. So what? You know, it's almost like you know, here's my elevator pitch. I help female entrepreneurs get into the press. So you know, so it's a so what, you know?
Yeah.
So that they can do, you know, find many more people, or many more clients can find them, and obviously get found by AI, by the AI tools. But the so that and the so what, yeah, I totally get it. What would you say to somebody who doesn't have an out there hat, and they're a bit more introvert, and I'm an ambivert, by the way, so a mixture of the two. You know, sometimes I can be really out there, and sometimes I just, you know, just wear black and it's fine. I used to wear black. What would you say to somebody if they actually want to make a mark and be memorable? What would you do as a brand expert? What would you say that they could, you know, when they're showing up? Because a lot of the way we get business is going networking. I've met you at many networking events, and I assume that's how you manage to meet a lot of clients as well.
Yeah.
So what would you say to somebody who's shy-ish, yet they've got such an important message to share, or a huge transformation they give to their clients? Tell me how you'd advise them.
Oh, it's tricky, isn't it? I've had my own struggles with visibility, and I sort of worked out over the last kind of 2 years really where that was coming from. And so much goes back to childhood, doesn't it?
Yes.
And I really saw that the way I showed up as a child, I was a people pleaser. I was, you know, I was good. I, you know, didn't put my head above the parapet. I actually froze on stage when I was 8 years old. And it was during the rehearsal in the school play. And I literally had all of these eyes on me, and I just wanted the ground to swallow me up. But, you know, it's incredible. Through lots of work that I did last year, hypnotherapy and all sorts of things, I realized where this was coming from. So I get it. I've been through my own journey, as a lot of female entrepreneurs have, when it comes to visibility. But I think just gradually I've kind of increased my own visibility. In terms of
massively.
Thank you. But yeah, in terms of the places I was showing up, and I just did it very gently and what felt authentic to me, you know. So like in terms of sort of social content, promoting myself there, I started with Instagram stories, because then there's less pressure. They're literally gone in 24 hours. So I get it. It is tricky, but I think if you're authentic, that has way more power than trying to be somebody you're not. You know, I think we sense things more than we realize, you know. So rather than trying to be somebody else, just try and be yourself. And try and show up with the values and the messaging that's important for you. But every time, just, you know, push yourself a little bit further. And then I think you get like braver with practice, you know. So for me, with my own fear, it's like, okay, I can show up, I can, you know, present, whether that's in person in a room now or via video calls, and I still get nervous. But it's also recognizing that with those nerves, those feelings, nerves and excitement are so close together.
Oh, didn't you say, wasn't it you the other day, or was it Haley who said I'm nerve sighted or something? Nervous and excited.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a great word, because it's the adrenaline. So I'm really interested in this whole emotional thing. So let's say somebody who is an accountant and life-changing because of the work that she does with her clients, because so many people, so many creators have issues with money, have the money ick, but yet this woman is brilliant at helping them get it out. So would you say, I know you're a brand designer, but also brand strategists. Do you also talk about their messaging on how they can have an emotional pull to their clients?
I can help people with messaging. I help people with sort of slogans, you know, and quite often these days we have sort of like sort of primary messaging and also secondary messaging. So I can help people with that to a certain extent.
Yeah.
I do not pretend to be a copywriter. You know, it's the visuals that are really my jam. That's where my special sauce lies. But I can help people with a certain extent in terms of, right, we've got the visuals in place, so now your messaging probably wants to go in this direction. So I can get people started, but I would always say, you know, go to a specialist.
Yeah.
Within whatever area of your business you are focusing on at the time.
Yeah, and I remember when I first met you, you told me about your expertise and background, you know, working in the magazine industry. And so Vogue is one of the big names that you've worked with. Do you want to tell us Marie Claire, ASOS, Revolution Beauty? Wow. Yeah, so you've worked with some big brand names and now you're working with some big female entrepreneurs. How's the difference?
It's interesting, you know, I love working directly with founders, you know, the large companies I've worked from over the years, and I've worked on a contract and freelance basis for a long time. I was sort of full-time for the first 5 years of my career. Circumstances looked like I was going to be made redundant with no redundancy pay because I hadn't been there for 3 months. So I jumped ship, and that was the best thing I could have done because it opened up so many opportunities. And unless I'd cloned myself, you know, I would never have been able to work for such incredible magazines, both in London and in Sydney, Australia. You know, there just would not have been the time. So I learned so much there because I was moving around different companies. I was always thinking about, who am I talking to now? So was I working on an interiors magazine? Was I working at Vogue? Was I working for Marie Claire or Glamour or Stylist, where there's potentially, you know, a younger audience? So it's just come very naturally to me in terms of thinking about, who are we trying to attract in, and how do I need to change the colors I use, or the fonts I use, or just the visual landscape that I'm creating for people. So I can bring all that big brand experience to help smaller founders to really, you know, show up in a really powerful way and have much more impact, you know, rather than being a little cog in a big machine.
It has such a big impact on our businesses.
Yeah.
So would you say that you've got like an editorial aesthetic when you do your design work? Because, you know, you think about these big posh magazines, it's like, whoa, they look so classy, so good.
It depends what I'm working on, but I definitely think that my expertise in terms of my background and how I can really help people is definitely to elevate them, to look more premium, you know, to look the part, because you can't sort of sell something at a certain price point if all your visuals actually devalue, you know, what you're offering. That's really important.
And the final question I want to ask you is, what is your too muchness that actually is your superpower?
Oh, do you know what? I always thought it was the fact that I'm so intuitive and perceptive. And I mean, this might sound bonkers, but like, if I see somebody else crying, I find it so hard to, you know, control my own emotions. Like, I can remember when Charlene left Neighbours, you know, and I was distraught. I saw Harold and Madge on screen. They were so upset, you know. But now I realise, actually, in terms of the work that I do, I can understand a client really quickly. I can understand why, you know, where they're at, where they want to be, and how we can make that jump, how we can create that journey for them. I can do that really fast. So actually, what I thought was a negative and I was a bit embarrassed about when I was younger, now I realise it's actually so important to the work I do and the transformation.
How would you bottle that up into like a sentence? My too much superpower is over empathy that turns into, you know, how would you describe that in your slogan?
Oh, maybe intuition, deep intuition, perception, and knowing that actually helps to get founders to where they belong. What do you think?
Yeah, where they belong, where they should be, to the rooms they should be seen in. You know, people come to me and say, "Oh, I'm sick and tired of playing small." So you've got people playing. You can help people to play big
Exactly. And what I love seeing is the shift I create in founders, especially female founders, when I show them how they can be perceived, you know, via their visuals. It really elevates their own confidence. It's so wonderful. I joke that I'm really chuffed if I make a client cry. But they're happy tears, you know, they're happy tears because they see themselves in a different way, and you know, it gives them the confidence to go out there.
I suppose a new brand for a client is like a new set of clothes. It's like me putting on my leopard print hat and my leopard print, you know, leopard print. Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, keep up the phenomenal work, and I look forward to following you and seeing what you get up to. So thank you very much, Hazel.
Thank you, Amanda.
Really great speaking with you. Bye-bye.
Bye.